Not know what to do. Why you putting me on the spot, bro? I
Figure it
wasn't
out.
prepared for this.
Figure it out, or you're fired. I'll find.
Is there some kind of vest I can wear?
Yeah.
Peace and blessings, kings and queens. My name is Jaquan Davis.
And I am Nicholas Fletcher.
And you are now tuned in to another episode of the Young Old Heads podcast. The podcast where we talk about a little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing. We're hip-hop based, but it's not going to always be all hip-hop. So, Mr. Fletcher, I would like to ask, how was your week, good sir?
Stressful, bro.
Stressful?
Very. Yeah. So
sorry to hear that.
Just to kind of quickly, I'm gonna lump mine in with some like hopefully motivational dialogue.
Yeah.
But I am in a process in my life where I am learning balance and boundaries.
Yeah, those are two crucial things.
Yeah, I desperately need to implement some because where I get overwhelmed is I like bite off way more than I can handle.
Yeah.
And it's not. And here's the thing: it's not that I can't I can handle it, but like healthily, like where like I'm just overwhelmed and then I'm snappy and just stressed out.
Yeah.
So
are you stressing about the word like?
Yeah, actually, I always stress about the damn word like. Again, if you guys want to take shots every time I say the word like, R.I.P.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this week was a good lesson in how I need to really take into consideration how important boundaries are and just giving myself some time to breathe. Because even when you ask me even today, like, oh, like week-wise, like innately, I'm like, yeah, I had a bad week. And I can't really pinpoint what made it bad aside from the fact that just so much. Like just, and when I say so much, I mean just like, because as you know, I run a business. Yes. I have 2 children. I'm finishing an album. Like, and I just have no downtime. And when I do get downtime, something comes up. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, actually, this guy, we were actually recording the podcast a day late because he wanted to spend time with his wife. Look at this guy.
I know.
He's spending time with his wife.
You guys will be hearing this from a week from now, but it is Valentine weekend, so like I had to do the honeydews.
Yeah, look at this guy pointing at him.
I did forget. Me and Jay did make a pact that once we started the podcast, it was like podcast above everything. Your family.
Yeah, and then today he
say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah, today he helps his dad when it's time to record. This guy's trash. Yeah. No, I understand where you're coming from, man. Definitely do need balance in all things, and you know, I've definitely been in that scenario where, you know, you kind of bite off more than you can chew.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, so you got to have that downtime, man. I will say I also had a bad week, but I can pinpoint exactly why I had the bad week.
Let's hear it.
So last week after we had recorded, I went to the gym and did some weightlifting, right? Did some deadlifts. I bit off a little more than I could chew. I was doing pyramids. I was working my way up in weight, right? I'm not going to say how much weight I was doing.
Just fabricate it.
It was,
1,000 pounds.
7,000 pounds.
Oh, wow.
No, but I messed my back up really bad, man. I kind of bit off a little more than I could chew. Like I said, I got the weight about 6 inches off the ground. You know, deadlift's supposed to be one smooth motion. I got about 6 inches off the ground and like kind of paused, like, oh shit. I'm like, no, I can do this. Tried to go the rest of the way up. My back was like, oh no, what did you?
Your back was like,
what do you think this is? Like,
my mind is telling me, yeah.
Like, what, sir? Who do you think you are? Like, you know. So I was in a lot of pain, man. I actually missed work Monday and Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you hurt yourself that bad?
Yeah, it was bad, man. Missed work Monday and Tuesday in the bed, laid up like a chick.
Last episode we were filming, I had hurt back, if you remember.
Yeah, I didn't remember you saying you were sore.
Yeah, I hurt my back doing jujitsu.
But I was laid in the bed with the heating pad, man, curled up like a chick on her period. But so I went back to work Wednesday. It was still hurting, but I'm like, I can do this.
Are you better now?
I'm better now, but I've done some things to ease the pain. But
that sounds like really suspicious.
Does it? I just got a massage. That's it. So Wednesday I went back to work. You know, I had a lot of caffeine in my system. You know, caffeine's a stimulant, so your pain's not going to be as bad when you got that caffeine in you. It's ready to go. Like, I told my boss, it still hurts, but I can work. I don't know what I was thinking, but so I get to work, I do my stuff, and I ended up having to be on top of a rail car with a full body harness on, hunched over for most of the day.
Which because you have a labor intensive job.
Very, very. So I had to be hunched over with the body harness for a couple hours that day. It was rough, man. So I got through it. I was okay. And I woke up the next morning. Pain was like just as bad as it was initially. So I tried to get through the day. I worked about half my shift on Thursday, and I told my boss, like, hey, man, I tried, man. He even seen me. He's like, you look run down. You okay? I'm like, my back's still bothering me, you know? So I left and went and rested the rest of the day, and then went and got a massage yesterday. But, yeah, feeling a lot better. I mean, there's a little tenderness, but it's not.
You know what I bought? So
What's that?
So when I hurt my back at jiu-jitsu, which again was, and it's funny, I think I keep saying jiu-jitsu, and the listeners are like, we get it, Nick. You did jiu-jitsu. But here's the thing, I'm not good at it. I've only gone a few times. I've went a few times in the past, but like I'm no jiu-jitsu guy. Yeah. But I hurt my back, doing nothing, basically. Yeah. It was like one of those things I was surprised when it was. I was like, ooh, that hurts. And it just progressively got worse. But I have this massager here at home that came with like 3 attachments. And it has like 9 settings, which whoever can use it on setting 9 is an insane person. Yeah. Because setting 1 is enough, but it's just one of those. The attachment I used was the deep tissue, and I just had my wife just get in there, and it was like my back felt better the next morning. Like it was, and I mean, it was like it had me like I was hurting pretty bad.
I actually saw an advertisement for something similar to what you're talking about. And it looked to be a bit much. They must have had it on a really high setting. But
dude.
It almost looked like a drill or something.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I have. It looks like a drill, has these settings, and you press the button. It's like, I'm not kidding, like 7 to 9 settings, and even number 1 is intense.
Yeah. So the one I seen, they must have had it on 9 or something, because it's like, why would I do that? That looks painful.
I originally got it for my neck, because like my neck gets stiff and all that. And I really need to work on
it off.
Yeah, I tried.
You should.
That's the problem.
That's all I do.
But so my neck gets stiff, and I put it on, and like the problem is it vibrates so intensely, it like vibrates my eyeballs, and it makes me nauseous.
That
doesn't
sound fun.
Yeah, I can't do it on my neck anymore. So now I just have
vibrating.
Yeah,
eyeballs.
bro. Like legit, you put it if your eyes are open, and you put it on your neck. I'm gonna let you try it upstairs.
That sounds so bizarre.
It's not fun.
I don't want this.
I don't recommend it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that's how our weeks are going. We both had rough weeks, man. But I do want to say, we've got a couple episodes of the podcast up at this point, and we've received a lot of positive feedback. A lot of people are telling me to ditch this guy and go solo, but I'm like, I'm loyal. You know, I can stick around to at least 10 episodes or something.
Bro, it don't count if your mom's the only person telling you that.
Hey, my mom's a lovely woman. But no, there's been a lot of positive feedback, man. A lot of people are telling me they enjoy the chemistry between the two of us, which, you know, I think that 20 years of friendship will do that, you know.
I honestly think my back was hurting last week though, because I carry the show.
Oh yeah, I was appalled for a second. Like, where are you going with this? But I'm still appalled.
Just out of nowhere. Back to the back stuff.
But yeah, a lot of people have given us some positive feedback. A lot of people do enjoy the chemistry. We're both goofy as all hell, and
ridiculously attractive.
Yeah, I mean,
chiseled
yes.
figures.
Ebony God. But no, I appreciate it, guys. We're just getting this thing started, man. Don't be surprised if we drop in quality, because I'm going to be doing the editing soon. So, you know that.
Yeah. Well, it's probably going to pick up in quality.
Because you suck.
I basically did just serve myself. Like, I do it now.
Yeah,
so
I do it
It'll
now,
get better
so
once I stop doing it.
I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be in charge of this.
I will say with feedback, though, it is always welcome. Like,
yes.
From episode, 1 until if we get way down the pipeline. Always, feedback is welcome. Any input is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're doing this, man. We want that interaction. If you got subjects you want to hear our thoughts on,
we're gonna start doing interviews too.
Absolutely, we are. That's another thing. I did have a few people. I know you had some too. A few people say they want to come on as guests, which that'll be down the line. But we're talking about doing that anyway. So that'll be good. Some local people in the community. I got a couple strippers that want to get interviewed.
Some dancers.
Some dancers.
Call them up right now.
Oh, hit the strippers up.
Tell them to come over here now.
But no, just
not for the podcast.
But just people in the community in general. Definitely are all about our community, and we do want to give a voice to some of our people out there, and it'll help the show grow and get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, gracias.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So now we are going to speak on what we got here. Oh yeah, okay. Short-term memory in hip hop.
Oh gosh, short-term memory in hip hop.
It also, I feel it extends beyond hip hop, but we'll address
music. Well, I think it's hip hop centric because I feel like a lot of these other genres, you got bands like, say, like an Aerosmith or something. They could go on tour these days and they'll sell out, and people who grew up listening to them, oh, they're going on tour, let's go check them out. Whereas in hip hop, you see somebody like Big Daddy Kane or somebody touring,
and that's a good
nobody
example.
wants to see your old ass. Like it's like, are you kidding me? Like he's a forefather of this thing.
I think in hand with this, then I think hip hop ageism is like
that's even better. Yeah,
like hip hop ageism.
I don't understand.
That's a big thing that's always bothered me. Like right now, a 32-year-old rapper. That's considered like old, like in the industry. Say like industry level, they're like, hey, there's this 32-year-old unknown rapper in the industry.
32.
Get moved.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, these dudes, some of the biggest names in the game are somewhere between like 19 and 24.
Think about some of your favorite artists
maybe
too.
even younger.
When are they in their prime?
Well, I mean, Nas was like 18 when he dropped, so I mean, it's kind of how.
That is true. Actually, I guess it is kind of how you.
So but he's kind of an anomaly though. But I mean, a lot of these guys, Lil Wayne was out when he was like 14, so it is somewhat of a young man's game, I guess. And I mean, I think we've discussed that people in high school and stuff tend to kind of push the culture forward. They kind of decide the trends and what have you. So I get it on that level, but at the same time, it's like, why isn't there room for people 30 plus? Like, why is it? Oh, you are old.
Even just more common that it's just
like you getting in the game. If I was to start rapping right now at 31 years of age, people would be like,
well, here's the thing, not even start rapping. So I've been doing it for at least 15 years or more, and with me right now, we'll give this scenario. So say some guy in a rock band is at like some event, whatever, he's at the store, and somebody walks up and was like, oh, hey man, I loved your last song you dropped, whatever, and they're like, cool. Well, the person next to him in line is like, oh, like, you're a musician, that's cool, what do you do?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm in a band, me and my friends have a rock band. They'd be like, cool. And if he was like 30, whatever, like even in his 40s, they'd be like, oh, that's cool. But if they came up to me and was like, a complete stranger was like, oh, you do music, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm a rapper. I guarantee their first thought's gonna be like,
oh, your mixtape's fire too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just it's like this stereotype that it's like, oh, in hip hop, like, oh, you hit 24, stop what you're doing.
That actually reminds me of Lil Uzi Vert, who's
actually personal favorite. GOAT.
He's actually people say that they call him the GOAT. People like 18, oh yeah, he's the GOAT. Whatever, man. Your opinion. Opinions is an opinion, but he said a few years ago, oh, once you hit 25, you're an old head. And I was just like, what?
Yeah, that's weird to me.
What?
Yeah, that's weird.
In no other area of life is that old other than like high school.
That's like me being like my doctor, being like, if you're over 25, like, nope, sorry, doc.
Just like, that is so bizarre. Now I believe he's over 25 at this point.
Well, the irony of it is, I guess pertaining to how you like hone your skills and like what direction you go.
Yeah.
But like generally, you're going to improve as you get older. Your content will get better. Your skill will get better. You're like so it's strange to have the cutoff. Not only have a cutoff, but have it at such a young age.
Yeah.
Because, bro, like
25, you're old. You ain't good for nothing.
25.
So
man,
weird.
That's wild. And I agree. Like you see, and I know it comes in line with the exact topic of the ageism / like short-term memory.
Yeah.
But you'll have the people who will drop these classic albums, considered legends, amazing.
Yeah.
And maybe a few years down their career, they drop one that just doesn't have that same impact.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they fell off. They're whack. Like, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, like.
Yeah. Like, what you serious? Like, what?
Yeah.
Somebody could give you, certain artists, they can give you hits for 5-10 years. They take a little hiatus. They come
Drop
back.
one badge project.
Yeah. People were like, "Oh, he's washed up." Oh, prime example of that. Last summer when Nas's King Disease came out, which I love that album.
Yeah, it's super
Great
good.
album, absolutely great album. But so that album came out, and I think NBA YoungBoy, who seems to be one of the biggest of the new generation. Now, I've heard some of his music, but not really for me. But he's talented though. I'll definitely give him that. But he had a project drop the same day or around the same time, so he was the number one spot. Nas was the number two spot, and I can't remember what one of the pages I follow on Instagram. They were talking about the top 5 albums at that particular moment, and somebody was in the comments. I don't know nothing. Know this person? Know nothing about him, but they were like, "Oh yeah." It's some people. I think a lot of people were in the comments talking about how they thought it was crazy that he was above Nas. Like Nas was 2, he was 1. And the person was like, "Oh well, it's not his time anymore. It's NBA Young's time. NBA YoungBoy's time. Nas's time is over. He's washed up. Blah blah blah."
Yeah.
I'm like, do you know what washed up means, sir?
Yeah.
Because if he was washed up, he wouldn't be number 2.
Exactly. Yes.
Him being number 2 on the list literally means the opposite of what you're saying.
Exactly.
Like,
you're not number 1. You're quit. You're a failure.
Yeah.
You're a failure.
Yeah. Nobody listens.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Nobody listens to you anymore. You're
No,
number 2.
I think that this younger generation cares way too much about numbers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because that's
yes,
a big thing. They
yes.
talk like an album drop, and they'll be like, "Oh, they did X amount in their first week. Oh,
Yeah.
how embarrassing!" And it's like, "Yo, but like, was the album fire? Like,
Yeah,
who the fuck-
exactly.
How much it sold? Like, and like we also are in this weird transition with music where streaming is a whole nother platform.
It is.
It's totally new.
It
They're
is.
not going off record sales anymore.
No.
They're going off like streams and whatever. It's
Yeah,
just a
so
whole,
you can help spike your favorite artist streams by just playing their album on repeat.
Exactly.
Not even listening
Yeah,
to it.
exactly. You could go to bed and
Yeah.
just put it on repeat, on mute, and or
Yeah.
whatever. On
They
volume.
people were actually saying to do that. Whenever Nicki Minaj's last project dropped, people were like, "Yeah, do
Bro,
this."
I've asked my fans to do that, like just to get. Well, here
I know.
and here's the thing: is this was me when I first started trying to break into the stream thing because I was victim of in my mentality that I was like, no matter how good the album is, if I can post a screenshot that I got 10,000 streams in a week, people would like respect me more, and like it was just this whole really naive, like stupid view of the number thing. So now I don't care. Like I truly, and I mean this truly, I am an organic artist.
Yeah.
You won't catch me if I pay for something. It's paying for something that's like an investment. That's like that's gonna like further my music organically. I'm not gonna pay for like this like.
Oh, that's why you bought that flashlight. I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's organic, dude.
Yeah,
it's
organic
biodegradable.
I'm sorry, man. You're being all serious.
I did buy one. You were kidding? I'm
Moving
just
right along.
Anyway,
No, but
PG-13.
back to how you were saying the numbers thing. You're so right, bro, because they really judge a product's quality on the numbers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like the numbers mean popularity. It doesn't mean quality.
Talent or
like,
skill.
you know? Oh, well, he never went platinum, so he can't be that good.
Well, the irony of it is they'll still use the numbers as an excuse, but then some trash ass rapper will do whatever they're doing and become number 1.
Yeah.
And somebody who doesn't like him will be like, oh, like who gives a fuck if he's number 1?
Yeah.
And it's like,
and 2 examples
like
always.
it can't be your argument both times for opposing points. Like,
And 2 arguments I always make when people talk about the numbers thing, how irrelevant it is to me. So Vanilla Ice was multi-platinum.
Yeah.
One of the worst artists ever at
Yeah.
any point in time to ever do anything. In my opinion, some people might, if you might like him. I mean, name me 5 songs other than Ice Baby.
give me a bar.
Yeah.
One bar.
Like he was just very.
Stop. Collaborate and listen.
Very manufactured. I think that's the worst
Oh,
thing about him. to me. Like he didn't seem.
that's a really not genuine at all.
Yeah, he didn't seem genuine
Very
whatsoever, so.
Hollywood packaged. Like,
Yeah, I
you're
feel
a
like-
rapper. Here's your flair.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to have your dance moves. And wait, they're getting crazy haircuts. You need one of those too.
Yeah.
So I think if he had been a little bit more authentic, I might have a different opinion of him. But whatever. But not only that, my other part of that example, or my other part of that argument, is the fact that Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z's debut album, you would agree is a classic hip hop
Yes,
album.
absolutely.
I love that
I feel
album
like,
to this
I feel like
day.
most hip hop heads would.
I listen to it now. Like that album is great. Fun fact: Nas was supposed to be on that album, but it didn't sell that well initially. Like it didn't sell that well until he started to blow up
Yeah,
from
good.
his next project. Like people knew the affiliation with Biggie and stuff, but he wasn't out there like that in '96.
You know what's crazy? So this is a story. Here's the thing: if I start telling the story, it is actually a very good story. I don't even know if you know it yet, but like it's pertaining to the topic I'm about to bring up. But I was just on the phone 2 days ago with some record label managers and executive type characters.
Yeah.
And we were discussing some stuff like with my project that I'm about to release, and I was explaining to them like my plan, and they were basically like, "That's a terrible plan." And they told me they're like, "Do not release your album as an album." They told me to do singles. They're like, "Do a single every 3 weeks or whatever." And they're like, because in this era, when you drop an album, like as a whole, you'll have like a hot weekend. So like for a weekend, people will be like, "Oh, it's great," but then it'll die out. We're basing this all off data, like numbers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's as if people forget that album exists,
Yep.
except for your diehard fans. So you'll have your core of diehard fans who will still listen to your album, but literally to the other listeners, it's in and out, boom. They're like, and if you drop singles, you're constantly relevant. You're constantly like, they brought up Post Malone. They were telling me with Post Malone that what he had done was before his big debut, he dropped singles. I forget, let's say there were 6 songs total for the album or however many it was. He dropped like 6 of them, and then with his 6th dropped the album. And by the time the album dropped, the other songs had done so well, the album dropped platinum.
Oh,
Like
wow.
it dropped, it was a platinum album. It was solidified when it dropped, kind of thing. Like, and yes, they were trying to explain it to me, and I was just like, man, this is way above my. But I know enough like music, like jargon and like lingo that like I was able to hang in the conversation.
Yes.
But like I was just like, man, you're just talking. Yeah. But there's a story that led me to get on the phone with these people that is a very colorful story
Colorful story.
that I can. We'd have to deviate from the podcast if you want to.
Let's touch on that at another time, since we've already got our subjects lined up. But
All right.
I just did want to kind of with the whole numbers thing, the numbers being everything, and instant gratification and all this. It's like, you hear an album, unless it's something that you've actually been anticipating, which I don't know if some of the younger generation, if they really, I think they probably have a select few artists whose projects they anticipate. But for me, it's like there's several people I hear Dipset's bringing an album out in a couple months or whatever. But I also noticed that you don't really see albums getting promoted like you once did.
That was my next topic. I was going to bring up the 2 ways I see it is kind of like what I just brought up. Was I'll see singles, and then you'll have this artist who, Joyner Lucas did it. He dropped an album. I think it was his ADHD album, but he dropped it was like maybe 12 songs. I'm just throwing a number out there.
Yeah.
And he dropped maybe 10 of them were singles, and then dropped the album with 2 songs. And I thought it was weird that I'm like, so he was like, album out today, and I went to go listen. I'm like, oh bro, but I heard all this already. I'm different. I'm old school. I prefer an album. Give me a day that I can listen to it like everything's new to me. Like let me dissect it.
I like that too.
I like digging in.
It doesn't feel the same if you've heard 6 of these 12 songs.
Exactly. Yeah. Already. And so.
I agree.
So
with
it's
that.
just.
No, I'm the same way, bro.
But then you have somebody who does that and whatever, and it works for them, and it works for a lot of these artists. But then you got a guy, obviously a powerhouse like M. Yeah. He's dropped, I think, 3 unannounced albums. Yeah. Just no release date, 3, and they've all gone platinum.
Yeah, well,
literally just dropped. But he is a powerhouse.
I was gonna say he's like one of maybe 5 people who can do that.
Pull that off.
I think maybe a couple of these newer guys could probably do it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure NBA YoungBoy has enough of a following that he could do it. Lil Baby, who's like the hottest thing right now, he could probably do that too. But that's not something everybody can do. Maybe Lil Pump should try that.
Lil Pump, go ahead and give that a shot.
That dude is an idiot, man. I'm sorry. Oh gosh, he is. Yeah, he is something else. I don't like Lil Pump. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I think these days, like an album comes out from an artist that I've loved for years, I always sit and check it out. And I'm kind of like you. I like it when it's stuff I've never heard, new concepts, and it's a new album.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a new album.
That's how we grew up. Like, you might have heard maybe 3 singles off the album when you got it, but everything
and
else.
And even back then, albums were bigger.
Yeah.
Now they're dropping a big project now. Even the guys on the phone told me, they're like, how many tracks on your album? And I was like, 12. And they're like, that's too many. 12 is too many?
See,
like 12 is too many for an album?
I would say 12 is like that. Maybe 14
Yeah, they told me 12 was too many. And then with that, you think back where they were dropping like Jay-Z dropped The Gift and the Curse was a double album, like things like that. And that album in particular, I remember being thrilled finding out it was a double album.
Yeah.
Like not being like, oh, too many songs.
Yeah, double album.
Yeah.
Nowadays they wouldn't. Yeah, they'd tap out.
Yeah, that instant gratification is just like they get what they come listen to artists and then they're like, all right, next. Like,
I think that's kind of
who's up next.
I think that's kind of I do kind of fall in that category because 2 things about me, man. You give me more than like 14, 16 songs.
Same
I'm like,
I'll be honest, totally.
I'll
be honest.
And also, you know what else I don't like? I think this has become apparent as I've gotten older. I don't like a long ass intro. Like a long ass intro to a song, you got a good 30 seconds before I'm irritated.
Before I'm like, all right.
Yeah, like all right,
and
man.
next.
Like especially if it's an intro where like they're not actually rapping, it's just like something going on in the background, or it's just silence and like a noise. Like, come on, man. Come on, start the music.
I want to hear music.
Give me that music.
And you're at the gym trying to get your fucking bench press in. And kicks to a song with a 45-minute intro.
Yeah, just a wild. Yeah, but that'd be hot.
I actually know. That's fine. That's where we're very like-minded because I think those same things. I'll listen to a song and it'll have this crazy long intro.
Yeah, I'm just like, why? I don't. Unless it's like, if it's like a skit or something, okay, I can do a skit, but.
On a quick note, I'm just going to just interject here that one time a rapper dissed me, and the intro to his diss, I'm not kidding you, was like 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Wow.
Just talking, like just kind of like it was strange. It was very strange. I'll have to show it to you. But
yeah, show it to me. So
I'll have to show it to you. So my response back to him, my beat starts, and I go, I'm not gonna bother you with some 2-minute intro. I'm gonna just kill him, and the beat kicks, and I start rapping. And like my response was like, man, like, and like no, like not saying like nothing about like rehashing like or like but nothing. But no, but it was just like I think that was the thing that stood out to me is the diss like lost its power because like you're a minute into the intro being like, yo, like insult me, like already.
Okay. Like, you gonna get to the bars or what? Like
what's happening?
What? Come on, man. Start dissing them. I just that's a whole other thing. But yeah, if you that kind of takes out the sting from the diss track, if you ask me. The person just talking. Oh yeah, and we used to hang out and. You're stupid and
you're dumb. Nobody likes you.
Nobody likes you. Remember that one time we went to Broadway Burger and you didn't have any money? Well,
everybody knows now.
Everybody knows now. You told me not to tell nobody. Okay. So what is our next topic?
Last thing I'm going to conclude on with this short-term memory. One example, Conor McGregor's most recent fight, okay? So Conor McGregor, notoriously known for being a loudmouth. Yeah. Needless to say, he plays the mental game along with like throwing hands. Like he'll beat you in your head well before he throws a punch. And so the dude has become one of my favorite fighters just based off of his like character, his charisma. He
kind of toes the line of bigotry for me.
Oh, I will say, a buddy of mine. Actually, one day brought something up to me, and we ended up looking up a video, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I did not realize.
And also, he punched some old ass man in the bar because the dude didn't want his whiskey. I was just like, "Whoa, man, You need help,
Yeah.
sir.
No, yeah, I think he probably could use some. Well, here's part of this. So anyway, so he goes and fights Khabib, loses. He loses to Khabib, and then obviously a big hit for him because they have this huge beef. So then he goes and fights Cerrone and beats dude. So when he loses to Khabib, everybody's like, "Oh, you're trash, you suck. Conor McGregor's washed up, and you're not a real fighter." And Khabib, whatever. So and mind you, this is coming from a dude who's done some astonishing things in the octagon.
Yeah.
Well, then he goes and fights Cerrone, knocks the dude out with his shoulders. He is shoulder checking him. He wins the fight. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, Conor's ridiculous. Can you believe that? Who knocked somebody out with their shoulder? That's how amazing, whatever." And then he loses his most recent fight, and they're back to being like, he just doesn't have it anymore. He lost his, and where it's like, bro, like you said, short-term memory. It's like, yo, are you guys neglecting that, like, the astonishing
you
things
forgot
this
everything else that
human
happened.
being has done?
They
Like,
did the same thing with Ronda Rousey too.
Yeah,
like she was the
exactly.
hottest thing, and then she lost that one fight, and it was like, oh,
And
she's-
literally, it was like, well, yeah. All right, next topic, random fact.
Random fact of the day. In a world where I just want to do that narrator
the
voice.
new moon, yeah.
In a world where, like, why was it always in a
Two
world?
unsuspecting strangers.
In a world,
You do it way better than me. I'm trash at it.
I'm gonna write something about this. I'm gonna write a movie intro, just something ridiculous.
That's
and
what
do
you
it in
have
that
to do
voice.
for the young lad. Two friends.
Two friends, 20-year friendship. What happens when two friends decide to do?
I'm in.
Why was it always in a world though? Like, if you go back and watch old trailers, bro. Like, I'll do that sometimes. I watch trailers from classic movies, and it's all in a world where two. Okay, so my random fact of the day. It is my week to do the random fact. Nicholas, my good friend.
Yes.
So you're familiar with chainsaws, aren't you? You know
I
what a
am.
chainsaw is. We all know what a chainsaw is.
I think I've heard of one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's
sure.
primarily used for
Lumbering.
chopping down trees and things of the sort.
Yes.
So when I think about chainsaws, I think we all probably assume this. They were probably like the evolution of an axe, right?
Yes.
'Cause it does essentially the same
Yeah,
thing.
'cause you're more efficient.
Yeah, exactly. More efficient, stronger, and less, less strain on you, I guess. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I don't use no chainsaw.
As if we're out there just, and the last time I cut down a tree, it was
That's all right.
pretty easy.
It wasn't too bad, But so I think that's all what we would all assume. But Nicholas, do you know the actual reason chainsaws were invented?
I do, but I want you to tell everybody.
Well, you should have said no. You didn't ruin the whole
Oh,
shit.
sorry. Nope. Mm-mm.
Do you know the reason chainsaws were invented?
No, I don't.
Chainsaws were invented. Chainsaws were originally made. Give me some somber music. I need to build this up. I need to build
You
this
want me to do
up.
an acapella of it, or just put it in later?
I mean, you could. You done threw me off now. I was trying to get in my somber mood, and now I'm confused, and I don't know what else to say. So I'm gonna just come out and say it. Chainsaws were invented to assist in childbirth, Nicholas. Childbirth.
My question is how? Like, are they functioning the same way?
So I actually have a little article here to elaborate a bit. These monstrous devices were actually invented for bringing babies safely, yes, safely, into the world.
The first thing I think of when childbirth is
A
chainsaw. Good old
It
safe
makes
chainsaw.
me print. The visuals I get make me fold up like a lawn chair. Before the common use of the C-section, all babies had to be passed through the birth canal. However, as we know, babies can become unstructured in there if they are breached.
Breached, baby.
I never heard that one. Or too large. When babies couldn't fit through, they would get stuck in the pelvis. Parts of bone and cartilage were removed to create more space for the baby, and I should have picked something else. The procedure.
Sorry if you're listening to this at lunchtime.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The procedure, which was known as, I might butcher this word, sound off on me in the comments if you know how to actually say it, symphysiotomy, was originally performed by hand using a small knife and saw to remove the bone. Jesus Christ.
Damn, bro, they're savage back then.
And to make things worse, this was all done without anesthesia to a woman in the middle of giving birth. It took a long time and was messy and obviously painful. Jesus.
I can imagine, like, legitimately, like, the survival rate of that for the mom probably couldn't have been, like, over 50%.
Yeah, I don't, it doesn't say here, but my goodness, man. Can you imagine how brutal that was? Like, before they decided to, let's get an electric chainsaw. Let's invent this device. Before that, they were just doing it with a knife and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
just before they were just like...
I think
a
about
hammer to the pelvis.
You know, people will talk about how ridiculous technology is and how much we rely on it these days, which we do.
We do.
We do very much so. But I'm so grateful for a lot of it, man.
No, 100%.
Like, think about back in the day, like, if you had a broken bone, you just had to live with it. Like,
Well, and even back then, it's like we already brought up in one segment of our other random fact, the Kellogg's one.
yeah.
But science back in the day, it's crazy to think that these were like the pioneers of science because they were just throwing shit in like a cocktail and being like a cough syrup.
Try this.
Turpentine, cocaine,
cocaine
some
makes
arsenic.
things numb.
It'd probably make you feel good. Like,
Yeah,
it'll be great.
Drink a little arsenic.
You'll be fine.
That's fine. Lead paint is perfectly fine. I mean,
It's great for you, actually. Oh, bro.
It's just so crazy
I'm going
to
to try to
think-
find
oh,
a picture while I'm telling you, but real thing, okay? This is a real thing. I'm going to try to look up really quick. But it is a patent for a mousetrap back in like the 1800s, bro. I'm just going to explain it. I'll show it to you. So I'm going to explain it to everybody. It's a legitimate blueprint patent for it, okay? It's a mousetrap that has a mini .22 revolver on the end of it. So the mouse triggers it and blows its goddamn head off. And I just find it hilarious that somebody
Of all the
was.
things.
Here's my thing. I think it's funny that somebody was smart enough to design that. That's genius, but dumb enough to think it's practical. Like, we now have little cardboard things that are like, yeah, they step on it, metal bar snaps down, they're dead. This
Or even
person
the sticky traps.
this person was smart enough to be like, I'm gonna configure a way this gun can set up and shoot this mouse. And imagine being asleep in your house.
Boom. Oh, got him. Finally.
You got him.
Got him. Gosh, man, that is absurd.
Yeah, but it's a real patent that I'll have to find and show you a picture of it. It was absurd enough that I had to say it. But yeah, back to the topic. It's science back in the day. And of course, obviously, we're not born. This is what I think about long-term wise.
Yeah.
People 100 years from now are probably going to look at our scientific technology and be like, idiots.
Yeah, you know,
fucking idiots.
On the flip side of that, I think about that, and I also think about people in like the 60s who was like, television is, they need to slow down with this technology. This television's ruining lives. And then you got like the microwave and stuff. People having a basic ass microwave. This is state of the art. Like, you know. And I even seen a picture that kind of blew my mind to think about. It was a guy, he had like a CD player, a computer, a VCR, a TV, and all these old technological things. The picture's from like maybe the 80s. And it's like all of these things are currently in your pocket.
Yes, yeah, isn't it crazy?
And it's true.
I read a thing, and fact check me, people listening, if you want. But I read a thing on the internet, which is not the most reliable of sources, but they say
everything on the internet's real.
The technology in our cell phone is far more advanced than the first shuttle that went to the moon.
Wow.
That's weird to think about.
That is crazy.
Like the shit you're just toting around in your back pocket, like tweeting on and like playing Angry Birds is like more advanced than the thing that careened human beings into the moon. And it's just
pretty mind blowing.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's where I think what we talked about, balance. I think technology is great, but we need to find that balance.
Yeah.
But also another cool thing about technology that's interesting, it's the same concept as the chainsaw. Because at some point, somebody was like sawing on a woman's pelvis to get a baby out and was like, you know what? I got to cut down a tree tomorrow.
Yeah,
and this will work great.
Yeah.
Like, I really got to go prune my hedges.
Exactly.
You know? But the microwave was an accident.
Oh,
like
I didn't know about
it wasn't originally like they didn't make it to like with the technology wasn't discovered through trying to cook food.
Yeah.
I forget what they were doing, but it was something along the lines of some scientific project they were working on, and one of the scientists walked across like the magnetic field or whatever the microwave field that they were doing their thing.
Yeah.
And when he came back, the soles of his shoes started to melt on the pavement, and they were like what, like how, like what triggered that? So they started studying the molecules start to like rapidly move, which heated up, and that's the technology and science behind a microwave, which was like Like, so, like, I wonder how many things, like, scientifically and technologically exist by accident. Like, they
Yeah.
were trying something else
You
and
know
was
what
like,
I
oh,
always
like,
think is like you even kind of talked about cooking food. Like who decided? Let me put these eggs with this. With
oh
this
my God, bro,
flour,
we have such
and
similar minds
let
because
me
I
put
do the
these
same
things
thing.
together.
I do the same thing.
Let me make a cake. We'll call it cake.
Yeah, literally. I think so. I think where it'll be like I'll be looking at like a recipe. Like we'll give cake as an example. And
Yeah.
it'll be like it needs like condensed milk and like turned butter or whatever.
Yeah.
All these different complex like ingredients and go together and bake it this one. I'm like, who was the first guy to find out like cheese, for instance? Like, how did you find out the process to make cheese? Like,
not only that, but just different recipes. Like who was like, oh, I'm tired of this chicken with no flavor.
Yeah,
or,
exactly. Yeah.
Or who even decided, hey, a chicken would be a good animal to chop up. And,
I
let's
think
do the
that
chicken.
my thing is cow's milk. So people who might not know, I'm actually a vegetarian. We can dive into that topic one day. But no, we don't have to.
Vegetarianism.
Well, I'm just okay. We don't have to talk about it, okay. Maybe my fans don't want to know about my life.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding, man. Live your life, bro. We can talk about that. I think there definitely is some upside.
Well,
to
so
that
so anyway, I am vegetarian, but like one of my first things that I stopped was cow milk.
Yeah.
And well before, I'm talking years before I stopped drinking cow milk, I remember legit younger thinking like, who was the first guy that saw a cow's udder and was like, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
And then imagine the conversation he had to like have, like, and I'm sure the real scenario was probably like times of need and people were hungry and whatever, but I just thought it was strange. But then to this day that it's such a staple in our diet, because it's weird to me because
it is.
Like cow's milk, I mean, I don't want to start like
a
comment
It's
but
pretty much terrible.
It's awful for you, dude. It's horrific.
You know what's so crazy too, man? Is I found out. So you remember in the '90s and 2000s the Got Milk campaign and all that? Yeah. That was farmers in conjunction with the media in different places, schools and all this. They were pushing that agenda to be able to make money off of milk. So like,
well, even the whole it makes your bones stronger thing. It's been tested, and they're it don't.
I mean, it's got protein, but that's about.
And even
you can get protein just.
Exactly, and there's other sources, but also like a few things. One, we're the only mammals that drink milk from other species, period. Okay, so that's alone there. Next thing is we're the only mammals that drink milk beyond infancy. So think about this: cow's milk. What's it made for? It's made to take a baby calf and turn it into like a 500-pound bull or how a 2-ton bull. You know, like that's what it's made for. It's made to nourish them while they're babies and stuff, and then they stop drinking it. And whatever, we keep drinking it through our whole life. And mind you, that thing's full of hormones and things that are meant for a baby cow. Like, not, it's just, milk's one of those ones I feel like we're one day gonna, like, scientists are gonna look back and be like, man, those dudes, they were just like, because not only drinking it, but like in like America especially, it's a staple of our diet. It's like, a tall glass of milk.
Have a warm glass of milk before bed.
When I
drink your milk, Timmy, it'll make you big and strong.
You want to know one of the most ironic things that I run into?
What?
Is when I tell people that I don't drink cow's milk and dairy's milk and haven't in a long time. The last time I tried it, it was because I did a hot challenge. Like I had this hot sucker that was 9 million Scovilles, unearthly hot. All they had was dairy milk. It made me sick because I hadn't had it in so long. It made me sick because I hadn't had it in so long. But anyway, I think it's funny because I'll tell people and I'll have that group of people like, oh, like, where's the titty on an almond? And like, you're drinking juice of an almond, like gross. And I'm like, yo, like your like comparison is like, you're literally drinking the secretion of like cow titty. And like, I'm weird because I like almonds.
And before it gets like pasteurized and all that, it's so nasty.
Oh, they have
hair and blood.
The FDA, there's a certain limit. I watched a show on it. If you guys want to stop drinking milk, go look it up. But the FDA approves a certain amount of pus and blood that can be in it. Milk, the stores, it's pearly white. It's gorgeous. Like milk looks so good. Yeah. It's bleached white because if it weren't, it would be tinted it's like a yellowish tinge because of pus and blood.
Gross.
They bleach it out. Yo, if you gotta bleach what I'm eating so it doesn't look bad, I probably don't want it no more. Like,
you know what's funny? How you said somebody said, "Show me the tits on an almond." That's hilarious. But they had. I can't remember. I think it was the company that makes Almond Breeze, which I love Almond Breeze. That's good. The original, that's good stuff. But they had one, it was cashew and almond milk, I think. Mm-hmm. But it says nut milk. And of all the names,
worst marketing for you.
nut milk, bro.
Maybe, yeah.
Come on.
Maybe that guy got fired.
Sip all the little nut milk.
Hey man, pass me the nut milk.
Yeah, give me a little.
Hey bro, you got some
of that.
nut milk on your cheek.
You drinking nut milk? Hey, you want some nut milk? That'll probably start a fight. Like, hey, you want some of this nut milk? You want a little taste of this nut milk? You want try some nut milk?
Thirsty.
Nut milk.
Thirsty. Try some nut milk.
That should be the title of this episode.
Nut milk.
Quotations.
That's what
nut
we have
milk.
to start doing as title on our episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, we
But-
just titled the first one "Nut Milk"
Nut milk.
because I drink nut milk.
So how we were just talking about before we finish up this part of the pod, where we're talking about I was talking about the whole milk campaign being like bogus as hell and all that.
Yeah.
You know what else was bogus that I just recently discovered? Probably maybe a couple years now. The food pyramid is absolute bullshit, bro.
Most
Like,
of our dietary stuff coming up was
I
all
think they reworked it now and it's more accurate or something. But you done lost my trust. Like, But like as much bread and stuff they tell you to eat, bro, you'd be a gelatinous, morbidly
just
obese.
the blob just walking around.
Or the food pyramid, like just an insane
I'm
amount.
healthy.
An insane amount. I said obscene. What the fuck?
Obscene. It's so absurdly insane. Obscene.
I bet. I just coined the phrase.
Obscene.
Obscene. Obscene nut milk. That's what we'll call this episode. But no, it's just it's so crazy to me, man. And again, it boils down to money. Like they were trying to.
Yeah, no, exactly.
People making bread and stuff.
That's
trying to.
And I think that kind of falls in line with back to the whole. So technology-wise is one thing, but then the scientific community when it comes to medicine, that's like I'm not trying to be no conspiracy theorist type person because I usually try to be the opposite of like diving in the deep end there.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of the same way to where it's like, oh, like you don't feel good, like pay me to take these pills and you'll feel better. Like and that's the same thing with like the food thing where it's like the got milk thing's a perfect example. Like hey, milk's good for you. Well, who says? The guy who makes the milk.
Yeah, the guy he told us it has calcium and
it's
protein.
Good. Your bones will be strong.
Yeah, you'll be
able to stop bullets.
This will turn you into Superman.
Hey, perfect segue because the next topic is if you could have a superpower, any superpower, what would it be and why?
Dun 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 dun. What would my superpower be? I would be able to. My superpower would be to be invisible and go in women's houses and watch them naked.
And we're canceled.
Whoa,
Canceled. We just got canceled.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I think I don't know, man. There's a few powers that I feel like would be really convenient that I would be interesting, like the ability to fly and just get somewhere real quick.
Yeah.
That would be a dope one because, I mean, think about how much time you would save. Or teleport. If you could just teleport, like, oh, yeah, I need to go to Nick's house. Let me do this.
Yeah,
do this
that's
part,
it. Teleportation would be definitely.
That's probably one of my top ones right there. Teleportations. I think the idea.
I got to teleport to Walmart to get some nut milk.
I mean, go give me some of that obscene nut
Gotta
milk.
give me some nut milk.
In a world with obscene nut milk.
What happened, officer? Some guy just fucking teleported and took all this nut milk.
Yeah, like just think about awkward moments and stuff. You'd be I'm done here. You know?
And I'm gone.
But I think that would be a great one. Another one I always think about is I feel like in certain situations it'd be a huge advantage to be able to read minds. But at the same time,
in a million years would I want that.
But at the same time, there's a lot of times you'd be like, "Holy shit, you're a monster!"
Yeah,
like
I think most of the time you would feel that.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but I mean, there is definitely. So, I think that one's kind of the teleportations. I don't really see a downside to that one. So, I'd probably go with that.
Teleportation seems. Mind reading, bottom of my list. Like I'm talking like bottom of my list. I would not want to be.
I think also maybe right there, predicting or seeing the future or. Stuff like that. Maybe if you could see the future and maybe kind of redirect it so certain things don't happen, I feel like that would be cool, But I think teleportation is probably, because I mean, that might also be traumatizing. You see some things that you
Just
don't,
teleport
you
into
know.
like a.
No,
Well,
no,
here's
I, no. I mean, seeing the future. That,
Oh
that
no!
could
Yes,
be,
the future.
That could be
Well, and
traumatizing.
also it would, yeah, like you said, like if you knew certainly right now, like something catastrophic was going to happen,
Yeah.
because nobody like would believe you unless you like obviously were a superhero
Yeah.
who'd like been tried and tested and
Yeah.
proven these events. But like, imagine right now foreseeing the future and being like, oh shit, like. A meteorite's going to hit Earth in like 5 days and like wipe
And
out
only-
Earth,
yeah, only
and
thing-
trying to tell people, and
Yeah,
then
and I
being like,
gotta get.
shut up, you know?
Yeah, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Where's your tinfoil cap?
Yeah, exactly.
But I do think, yeah, I would probably say teleporting because I mean, what downside is there to that? Like
Yeah.
you could
No,
get out
you,
of
yeah,
any
I think
situation.
that's probably one of the most like perfect.
Never have to worry about being late for anything.
So here's the question: when with how it would it work in the sense of could you only teleport places you've already been? Would it be like that one movie Jumper, where if you saw a picture of it, you could teleport there? Because like right now, you've never been inside like the Louvre, so
Yeah.
could you just teleport right now into the Louvre, or would you have
I
to?
see. We didn't talk about
Practicality.
limitations and practicality when it comes to superpowers, Nick.
I'm a scientific guy, okay, Jay.
I don't. It's hard. I mean, we can put them limitations on it, I guess. But I mean,
I feel
that
like-
it still would be a
No,
solid
even,
power.
well, even without right now, based off where I've been, I
Yeah.
could just I can,
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I mean, because I'm originally from New York, and that's where all my family is. Bro, you know how quick
whenever
I
you want. Yeah,
yeah,
like
know,
literally,
so-
it just it would literally just it almost like be. I wonder how it feel like almost too empowering because then it would like the distant side of relationships would just no longer exist.
Yeah.
You know? Like it's just you could be whenever, wherever, and just like
Yeah.
So that would be like a strange thing, like the.
yeah,
but
dating a chick on the other side of the world, and
would you Would you be a superhero?
would I be?
Like in a
superhero?
legit moment, like would you?
I mean, but
How would it
would I be a
teleport or-
superhero? Yeah, I was gonna say, what would teleporting like? I would
Would
have
you
to have.
legit? Would you rob a bank if you
I
could?
would have to have abilities beyond teleportation in order to
Just
be a
teleport
superhero.
and get the shit kicked
But
out of you.
yeah, you can't fight. You ain't fast.
Teleport to the
You're
hospital.
weak.
Fucked up. Oh, you again?
How many times we gotta teach you this lesson, old man?
Just teleport and get your ass whooped.
No, SpongeBob reference.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, because I mean, if that's your only power, you can't do shit. Like, I would definitely rob a bank too. Absolutely.
Be an
I'd be a
anti-hero.
villain. Like, if all I got is teleportation, yes, a villain. Absolutely.
I'm taking
man.
whatever is mine. Whatever I want is
Whatever.
mine.
This mine. Like, like, so teleportation, that's the only thing. You can't, it'd be a superpower, but you can't really do much if you ain't got other abilities.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't think anything else is that solid, man. Like, super strength is cool. Super speed is cool.
So I think this is where there's two different layers to it. So-
Invisibility, not for the perverted bullshit I said earlier. Like, invisibility at times, I would think, but that's kind of like on the same level
The
with the reading,
teleport- yeah,
with the
everything.
reading minds. I was gonna say,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
because
You don't-
like you might be in a situation where nobody else knows you're there and hear something you don't want to hear
Yeah,
or see
exactly.
something you don't want to see. So,
Granny, no.
Yeah, Granny, don't. So I don't know. I think teleportation. I would probably.
So
go.
I guess this is how differently our minds work. I think in one way, because I think you immediately, when I was like superpower, you thought like practicality and like, yo, how could I make my life just easier and
Yeah.
cooler and whatever.
Yeah.
Mine does admittedly go right to like, how would I fight crime? Like,
Oh, gosh.
how would I be a vigilante and fight crime and all that stuff? So I'll give you top.
I mean, see, that's where like super strength and stuff. Like
Well, yeah,
that
where you
makes
want
more
that
sense.
because you were right though. Like if you just teleported into like a room full of gang members with guns,
can't
like
fight.
what are you gonna do? Like
What is that? I'm here.
you cut this out.
Stop it! I see you. Stop
I'm
that.
reporting you.
That's enough of
I'll
that
put
crime.
you on the news.
No more crime. I guess who's here, guys? I see you got an M16, but hey, let's talk this out. Let's talk this out. I don't think you
Teleport and have him shoot the guy behind you.
But no, what would you say yours was?
So
gonna-
mine. So I have one. I'll give you like top three. So number one. Well, I say number one, no particular order, but
Yeah.
three. Electric powers. Like being able to like conjure and control just zap people.
Yeah.
Because I've had people tell me one time I had somebody like fire powers, like, oh, I think it'd be cool to have be able to like the Human Torch and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think of it in the sense of like, okay,
That'd be cool, but
Well,
when does that really
exactly,
come in handy?
because say even in a crime fighting aspect, there's only one mode of fire, and that's kill. Like there's no
Exactly.
like electric power is like
just
stun
yeah.
the bad guys.
Burn
Fire,
them a
it's just
little
like, hey, this guy was like robbing a bank, or like he stole like some money from a cash register.
Burn his
Murder.
hands.
Murder.
Hey,
burn him.
Just burn him a little bit.
Just a little. Just, ow!
Ow. Okay.
Quit burning me.
Yeah, that's fire. So
Yeah.
you said the
So electric.
yeah.
Another one would be like invulnerable, like invulnerability, like Wolverine
Okay.
type stuff, like
Yeah.
Wolverine to where like so invulnerable, like a semi truck running you down, like you just bounce right back, like just recovery and all that stuff like that. And that.
So does that mean you like live forever though?
Well, that's again, now we're getting deeper into these
Yeah.
superheroes, because Wolverine actually, that's one of his things, is I don't think he's immortal, but he has a much longer life span. So like you have to live through multiple loved ones passing on.
That,
just,
that
and that'd be
wow,
hard.
that would suck.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing is, even with Wolverine, I wouldn't want his claws, because again, there's only one thing you do with them claws, and that's again murder. Like there's no there's no like, you don't just teach a guy a lesson. Like I'm gonna cut one hand off.
Yeah, I'm gonna just poke you with these.
But so that one, and the other one would have to be like telekinesis, like mind powers, like in the sense of
Telekinesis is, I always confuse telekinesis and telepathy.
So telepathy is what you're thinking of, like
The
reading
mind
minds
reading,
and being
telekinesis is when you
like
can move.
sending telepathy would be like me right now talking to you via
like Professor X.
Yes, yeah, he's a telepath. But telekinesis is actually being able to like manipulate the matter around you. So telekinesis, I could like lift that table up. And,
So more like Magneto.
Yeah, but beyond metal.
But beyond,
like
beyond metal. But
yeah,
Magneto's badass, man.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite
Yo,
villains.
you want to talk about like ingenuity, like the MCU that's really smart? Magneto can, so he can manipulate metal.
Yeah.
Well, there's iron in our blood.
Yeah.
In the comics, there's like a thing where he like rips the blood out of people because he gets
He
so
is-
powerful.
Bruh.
He can like, he ends up getting to the point, I think he gets so powerful that because there's so much iron in the earth that like he's like a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
He could just be like, oh, I could just rip
One
the
of
earth
the-
apart if I wanted.
One of the greatest villains, man. I've loved Magneto since I was a kid.
Here's
and
my thing about Magneto that I love.
I'll
let you.
the X-Men cartoon. Oh, no, I was just
Yeah.
a little anecdote, but go ahead.
So what I like about Magneto, which I think makes a good villain in any like story, any antagonist, is he's not like a bad guy just to be a bad guy.
No.
He's actually what I would consider an anti-hero, because he's not like, and like some comics and stories might portray him as this like villainous guy.
Yeah.
But in like the newer X-Men movies, he doesn't want to be bad.
No.
Like he doesn't want to kill, he doesn't want to hurt. But I a little anecdote. I don't know if you know this, but did you know that X-Men was actually it was like to get awareness out about racism back in the day.
Civil rights.
Yeah, civil
and,
rights. Yeah, X-Men
and
was
essentially, Professor
and
X
mutants were the minorities.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff,
were the minorities. Professor X was supposed to be representative of Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm.
Magneto was Malcolm X, where they had the same motive, but they were willing to do different things to reach that goal.
Exactly.
So yeah, absolutely.
Because that's the thing about Magneto. He's only jaded because they're like, you're a mutant. You don't deserve like to live. Basically, you don't deserve rights. And he's like, fuck y'all. Like, I'll rip your blood out of your body then.
Right.
Like,
No, Magneto's dope, man. There's actually quite a few villains who have some reasonable motives. Like even Thanos. It's just usually the way they go about him. Like Thanos wasn't absurd.
Well, here's the thing about Thanos. That we're on the topic of like cool antagonists. Thanos, when I used to debate this stuff, like when the movies came out, because I get really deep into these characters and these stories, people were being like, man, if Thanos is so strong, why didn't he just kill the Avengers every time they tried to attack him? Like, he had multiple chances. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, he didn't want to.
He didn't,
like, he could have killed them.
Yeah, absolutely.
His goal was to, like, regardless how people feel on it, because like you said, where you're almost like, I could see his point.
Yeah.
His goal was to wipe out half of population everywhere unbiasedly. Like literally, it was a 50-50 roll. It was like, when I snap, I'm not, no telling who disappears. Like, it just, luck of the draw, and gets rid of half of everything, and then lets everybody else have that much more, like, to like thrive and succeed and stuff. And like, and I always thought that was like a funny dynamic, because people would be like, oh, well, if he's so strong, why didn't he just kill him? I'm like, he could have. Like, you're thinking on too one-dimensional of a level. He didn't want to kill them. He could have killed them at any point. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, like, Yeah, so Thanos is a cool one. Dr. Magneto,
Doom.
Dr. Doom.
I like
I was
Dr.
going to say
Doom,
Dr.
yeah.
Doom.
Dr. Doom's
Because,
dope, too.
but Dr. Doom's another cool one. It's crazy, bro. And that
There's some weird villains too. Like Batman has a lot of weird ones.
His Rose
Condiment Man.
That's not a real.
I swear to God, just Google it right now, Nick. Condiment Man, Quilt Man.
These can't be real. What's
Quilt
Condiment
Man.
Man's powers?
There's some guy who has something to do with a clock. I don't remember what his name was. There's Eggman. I don't know if that was
Condiment
Batman.
Man DC. What the hell?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, the Condiment King created
Condiment
by Bruce.
King.
Yeah, okay. For Batman the Animated Series, villain who makes use of various condiments, sometimes capable of causing anaphylactic shock as his weapon. Yo, like how deep in the barrel are you digging to get like, we need a villain?
Ketchup and mustard.
Well, I'm thinking, pass me that mustard. Wait a minute.
Sal, you son of a bitch. That's it. But there's Quilt Man too. Yeah. I don't remember if his name was Quilt Man, but it's something like that.
Something to do with the quilt.
Some dude with a calendar man. Mm-hmm. There's a few bizarre villains out there, man. Yeah, it's just like, who thought of this? I mean, after a while, you would think how many comics there are, and how many different abilities. Yeah, so I mean, after a while, it's gonna get.
I want to see Thanos go up against Condiment Man.
He wouldn't have a chance.
He's done. Like, what you don't know is he's actually allergic.
Let him get that pickle relish out. The sweet pickle relish. Yeah. Oh, that's it.
And he is done.
Oh gosh, man, we were at the 1 hour mark.
We did hit our hour. So you know what? We didn't hit our final topic, but I think that just means we can save it for the intro to the next topic.
For the next episode. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the sultry sounds of the Young Old Heads podcast. Now you add something in, Nick. That's when you come in with something.
Dude, I couldn't match that voice. I was locked in, bro.
The smooth voice of Victor Velvet. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Victor Velvet, and you have tuned in to an...
And this is Condiment Man, and I'm here to spice up any occasion.
So you doing the outro, am I doing the outro? What are we doing?
Okay, I screw it up every time. I'm going to get it one day.
One day.
All right, everybody. So first off, I want to say peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
And we are grateful for every listener, and you guys are all amazing. I like to always end on a positive note. So if you're struggling with anything, whatever it may be like Condiment Man and overcome it and find your special niche.
Yeah, even if you're ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Condiment Man was just some guy, and he decided to become Condiment Man. That's empowering.
He wanted to be evil, and he made it work, I guess.
Yeah,
ketchup and mustard. Yeah. Give me some of that mayo, too. Give me some of that mayo. Give me that mayo. Once this mayo comes out. But
so once again, you are tuned into the Young Old Heads podcast. I am Nicholas Fletcher.
I am Jaquan Davis.
This is a hip-hop centric podcast where we talk a little bit about everything and a whole lot about nothing.
Yeah,
I flipped it. I did that on purpose.
Copyright,
too.
Yeah, that's cool. You just made it
good.
Enough of a twist to make it personal. I like it.
That's another layer.
That's lots.
All right, you guys have a good night. Thank you for tuning in.
Peace.
Bye.